Debt, the invisible but most powerful product. Think about it. There's a tool that generates profit without producing anything tangible. It represents nothing concrete. Yet we use it every single day. That product is debt. And debt isn't the neutral financial instrument you think it is. It was designed to be humanity's most profitable product. It financed wars, toppled empires, stripped nations of their freedom, and silently absorbed people's wealth. But today, if you asked most people, where did debt come from? Who created it? Why is it the backbone of everything? They couldn't answer. Because the story of debt is not just the story of money. It's the story of power. The origin of debt, the power of a promise. In short, debt is a promise. You take today, you say you'll pay later. But hidden in that word later lies the essence of finance: interest. Interest is the mechanism that turns time itself into profit. For millennia, people have fought against this idea. In ancient Mesopotamia, debts were recorded on clay tablets. But from time to time, rulers declared debt forgiveness. They knew that if everyone lived in debt, society would collapse. Even in the Torah, every 50 years all debts were to be erased, because debt was the easiest way to enslave a free people. But over time, rulers learned not to forgive debt, but to use it as a weapon. The Middle Ages and Renaissance, the hidden power of interest. In the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church banned interest, but merchants found loopholes. They disguised loans as trade deals and built systems too complex to trace. Then came the banking dynasties. The Medici family in Florence didn't build their empire on land, but on debt. They financed kings, popes, and traders. In return, they gained not just money, but power. Debt was no longer just a financial tool. It became a means of governance. The 17th century, the birth of national debt. The real revolution came in the 17th century. During its independence war, the Netherlands sold government bonds to its citizens. The people lent money to the state and earned interest. These bonds could be traded like property. Now, wars weren't funded by kings' treasures, but by the money of households. England copied this model. In 1694, the Bank of England was founded. The state began to live perpetually in debt, and bankers became partners of kings. Debt took the throne at the center of national power: war, profit, and the endless cycle. Lending to states carried little risk. They could always raise taxes. Wars no longer hurt monarchs. They created new profit opportunities. As nations borrowed, bankers multiplied their fortunes. By the 18th and 19th centuries, London, Paris, and Amsterdam were the financial capitals of the world. Armies marched, colonies were born, all powered by debt. The Industrial Revolution, debt among the people. As industrial capitalism spread, debt became everyone's business. Railroads, factories, and cities were built on credit. Workers labored for debt-fueled companies, and then took out loans to buy homes and cars. Debt slowly became part of life. Mortgages, student loans, credit cards. Borrowing became normal. But the truth? Debt doesn't generate profit just once. With every interest payment, wealth flows from the poor to the rich. A mortgage can enslave a lifetime. A credit card debt can snowball for years. A promise becomes a trap. Debt, history's smartest business model. Debt needs no factory, no raw materials. It sells time itself. And those who first realize this, Amsterdam's merchants, London's bankers, Wall Street financiers, built the system we live in today. This system doesn't manage debt. It produces it and feeds on it. The 20th century, the birth of global debt. In 1944, the Bretton Woods Agreements were signed. The International Monetary Fund and World Bank were born. Under the banner of development, debt made nations dependent. Countries borrowed, but with conditions. Privatize this, cut that spending, change or remove that law. Borrowing was easy. The cost was sovereignty. Policies were now written in London and Washington. The slogan was growth, but the reality was submission. Consumer debt, the chains of the masses. After World War II, banks found a new idea: sell debt directly to the people. The mortgage became a dream, the price of owning a home, 30 years of debt. Credit cards, car loans, installment shopping. Debt became everyone's necessity. Buy now, pay later. That slogan became a generation's motto. But here's the truth. The economy no longer thrived on production, but on debt creation. The 1980s, the price of addiction. After the oil crisis, developing countries borrowed heavily. When interest rates rose, they couldn't pay back. In 1982, Mexico defaulted. The debt crisis erupted. The solution? Borrow again. But under worse terms. The result: austerity, unemployment, poverty. The people lost, the rich won. At the same time, Wall Street turned debt into a product. Loans were bundled into securities and sold. Debt itself became the commodity. 2008. The mask falls off. The housing loan bubble burst. Banks collapsed, people lost everything. But once again, the banks were rescued. After the crisis, debt didn't decrease. It exploded. Central banks slashed interest rates and flooded markets with money. Cheap credit encouraged more borrowing. Today, global debt exceeds $300 trillion, 3 times the size of the world economy. Never before have so few owed so much to so many. Debt, the engine of wealth, transfer. Every interest payment is a transfer of wealth, from the poor to the rich. The rich borrow cheaply and earn more. The poor borrow expensively and lose more. Debt is the invisible mirror of class inequality. Now we talk about digital currencies, central bank digital money, programmable loans, instant penalties. On paper, it's efficiency. In reality, it's control. Remember, in the debt system, efficiency always serves the wealthy. The truth about wealth. Debt isn't objective. It's a deliberately engineered profit tool. It sells time and turns hope into streams of interest. True freedom begins when you can live without debt. Don't fall for the trap of easy credit. Every loan takes a piece of your life. History doesn't repeat, but its pattern never changes. From Mesopotamia's clay tablets to Wall Street's digital screens, the story is the same. Debt has always made the rich richer, crushing the poor without remorse. And the cruelest part? They called it progress. They called it prosperity. But if this video gave you a new perspective, subscribe to the channel, because history hides the answers, and I'll show you where to look.